Hi, I'm Dr. William DePaolo, and today I want to take some time to discuss with you an important part of our diets. If you can't figure out what it is based upon the vegetables behind me, what we're going to be talking about today is fiber. We're going to talk about the types of fiber that are out there, the foods that you can find those types of fiber in, how much fiber you should have in your diet, and what does fiber do for us. So let's just jump right in. What is fiber? So our bodies can take carbohydrates and we digest them. We break them down into things that we can use like glucose and sugar. Fermentable fiber is also a carbohydrate, except our bodies lack the enzymes necessary to break down fiber. So we rely on our gut bacteria to help us. Our gut bacteria, these 100 trillion microbes that live inside our intestines, some of them have the ability to break down fibers for us and extract nutrients for their own growth. And then we can also benefit from that fermentation. There are two main, and first of all, why is fiber important? Why do we even care about what fiber does for us? Well, fiber, in addition to relieving constipation, which is its most probably famous effect, there's a lot of other health benefits that you can gain from increasing fiber in your diet. First of all, there reduces your risk of colorectal cancer. It can help lower cholesterol levels and regulate your blood sugar. It can help regulate hypertension, as well as there's been effects on mood and in postmenopausal women. So it's an important part of our diets. It reaches all of our organ systems, not just our gut, but also our heart, brain, blood, our pancreas, our liver. So it's a really important part of our daily diets that has far-reaching effects. Knowing all of this, then it seems like a no-brainer that we should be eating a lot of fiber every day. However, that's not the case. So the normal male, for optimal benefits from fiber, should be ingesting about 35 grams of fiber every day. A woman should be ingesting about 25 grams. In reality, the average American is probably ingesting between 10 and 15 grams of fiber every day, which is less than 50% the amount of fiber necessary for those optimal health benefits. So we have a long ways to go in order to increase our diet, increase fiber in our diets if we want to get up to that 35 or 25 grams. And so I'm hoping through this video, educating about the different types of fibers and what foods to find them in will help you increase your fiber if that's something that you're interested in doing. If you're interested in feeding those gut bacteria that live in your gut, or just because you want to feel better, hopefully this video will help. So there are two types of fibers that people talk about. There's insoluble and soluble. And so these are categorized based upon their solubility in water. So let's talk about soluble fibers first. Soluble fibers are able to be dissolved in water, and when they dissolve, they create this sort of thick paste or gel in your digestive tract. And why that is good is because it slows down the digestive process, which means that your body takes a longer time to absorb those nutrients, especially sugars. So by having a longer, slower digestive reabsorption of the sugar in the food, what that does is it prevents blood sugar spikes in your blood so that you don't have these sort of high bursts of glucose or blood sugar in your body, which is good for everybody, but also particularly good for people with type 2 diabetes. Soluble fibers also bind up free fatty acids that are in your intestinal tract, and that helps reduce your levels of cholesterol. And so that's really important if you need to watch your cholesterol levels or your heart, or you have a history of cardiovascular disease. And just in general, reducing cholesterol levels is a good thing. And soluble fibers also are fermentable by gut bacteria, which means most of them are prebiotics, which means that they're really good sources of energy for our gut bacteria to use, and that will help them grow and stay healthy and to help make your life healthier through all of their benefits that these bacteria have. A lot of them will ferment these fibers and they'll produce something called short-chain fatty acids, which are really important molecules for immune health and barrier preventing leaky gut and preventing barrier issues. So there's a huge amount of benefits to the ingesting increasing levels of soluble fiber. So there are four types of soluble fiber, or four types of soluble fiber that you may have heard about. And we'll talk about each one of them just briefly and mention the types of food that they're found in case you want to pick and choose the types of soluble fibers that you want to increase in your diets. So the first is inulin. Inulins are a type of fructan that will feed your gut bacteria because they are prebiotic, and they're found in chicory root, garlic, onions, asparagus, barley, and oats and rye. Pectins are the second type of soluble fiber. Pectins are found in fruits like apples, strawberries, and citrus fruits. They're also found in carrots and potatoes. The third type of soluble fiber are beta-glucans. Beta-glucans are found in oats, barley, and mushrooms like shiitake and reishi mushrooms. And the last type of soluble fiber is psyllium. Psyllium cannot be found really in any source of food, but it's added to foods because it can be used as a supplement. So you can buy psyllium directly, or you can find foods that have psyllium supplemented into it. And psyllium, just like the rest of the soluble fibers, has all these effects of reducing cholesterol, regulating blood sugar, and feeding gut bacteria. So those are your soluble fibers. Insoluble fibers are on the other end of the spectrum. These are not soluble in water. And so what happens is they pass through your digestive tract pretty much intact. It helps to create a bulk, and it actually speeds up digestion. So unlike soluble fibers that slow digestion down to help you absorb things slower, insoluble fibers bulk up your waste products so that you pass them faster. This prevents constipation. It draws water into your colon, which also prevents constipation. And so that's the main role of these insoluble fibers. There are two types of insoluble fibers we're going to talk about: cellulose and lignans. So cellulose is a plant found in plants, and it passes through the GI tract relatively intact, like I said. You can find it in brown rice, bran, and skins of certain produce. Lignans, on the other hand, are also found. They're parts of plants. They're part of the plant cell wall, but you can find them in whole grain foods, beans, peas, green beans, cauliflower, avocado, unripe bananas, and flax. So those are the two types of fibers, basically, that you can categorize fiber into: soluble and insoluble. When talking about fiber, there's a third group that people talk about, which is called resistant starches. These are also called indigestible starches. And as the name suggests, our bodies can't digest these starches, but our gut bacteria can. They're fermentable, just like soluble fibers. And they are found in foods like unripe bananas. They're also found in barley, and a whole long list of foods that I'm not going to bore you with all the list of foods that have resistant starches in them, but beans, potatoes, rice are other examples. So those are the foods that have these resistant starches that will have similar effects to your soluble fibers. They'll help reduce cholesterol. They'll regulate your blood sugar. They also will make you feel more full. They produce a sense of satiety, which is good if you want to lose weight or you're watching your weight. That's one other benefit of resistant starches. So those are basically the what I wanted to discuss to you today about fibers. If you're looking to make some changes to your diet to increase fibers, it's pretty easy. I think you can just, every time you sit down to have a meal, make sure there's 2 different types of vegetables or fruits with your meal. That will help you increase your different types of fiber. If you go for having a snack, skip the processed foods and go for something like a handful of nuts or apples or pears or peaches or whatever that you like, but that is a fruit or a source of these types of fibers that you want to increase. And lastly, when you eat breakfast, instead of eating a pastry or your processed cereals that contain a lot of added sugar, go for oatmeal or wheat bran and substances like that will also increase your fiber. So doing these sort of small little tricks will definitely increase your daily fiber intake and get you towards that number, which is 35 grams for males, 25 grams for females. So hopefully you learned a little bit about fiber today, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks.